with bowling expert John Jowdy. See one of the most memorable bowling feats of all time. Plus, find out what makes PBA star David Ozio so tough. And much more next on The 10th Frame.
He'll need this one. He would like this one. He throws. He's going on the nose, right on the nose, and he carries. He caves in a strike, and that, believe me, was the biggest break in the world that this young man has had. I've never seen a perfect game in bowling.
The 10th Frame today is brought to you by Lynn's, the leading bowling shoes on the Pro Tour, and by Pinbreaker, the revolutionary new bowling ball.
Hello everyone, thanks for joining us today. I'm Lou Scalia, your host. We open our show today as we turn the clock back to Memory Lane.
Memory Lane today is brought to you by Pinbreaker, the revolutionary new bowling ball. Today on Memory Lane, the 10th Frame turns the bowling clock back to a great championship bowling event. Stan Gifford's 300 game versus Ed Brocious in 1955. The site was the Brunswick Alleys in Paramus, New Jersey. The announcer was Hall of Fame sportscaster Chris Schenkel.
Ladies and gentlemen, as Stan Gifford now is ready to move up in the approach here on championship bowling, we feel that his key strike is right here as he lights alley 3, where he has to finish the match. Here on 4 now. Ladies and gentlemen, I don't know if you can hear me or not, but there is the strike that we felt was the key one. Only time will tell. Through 9 frames, every one of them filled by that X indicating a strike, and the pressure is on now like it has only been on once before in championship bowling. Gifford up on 3. 10 straight strikes, ladies and gentlemen. 10 of them. Count them. Oh. This is one of the biggest thrills I have ever had in sports announcing. I have covered every sport, including Major League Baseball, horse racing, boxing, football, basketball, you name them, I've been there. But this has got me really shaking in this chair. Gifford is now up on 3. He's got it. Ladies and gentlemen, he stands within 1 strike of winning $5,000. Now, let me tell you, 11 consecutive strikes for Stan Gifford of Portland, Oregon. Here is a young boy that married the bowling proprietor's daughter. Man, somebody taught him well. Here it is, here it is. Watch it, ladies and gentlemen, watch it. At this boy, ladies and gentlemen, as we perhaps can back up just a little. How do you feel? I mean, well, look. Are you? Oh, look. Hey, I was as nervous, I think, as you were, Stan. Is this the first time that you have thrown a 300 game in this type of competition?
Absolutely, yes.
Oh, do you know what that means?
Yeah. I have an idea.
I think he does. Oh, in Portland, Oregon, and in Chicago, Illinois, and from coast to coast, people must be going tappy. Just calm down. I know that things are a little bit rough up here. 1, 2, 3, all the way through to 12 straight strikes. Eddie, gosh, I've never seen an opponent that was so happy about it.
Well, after all, if you're going to lose, you might as well lose by getting the best.
Lou Scalia. I've been teaching the sport of bowling for over 20 years. And here's my first instructional video, Strike, Spares, and Strategy. My bowling video is for bowlers of all levels. I cover the important strategies for the changing conditions we see in the 90s. To order, send $19.95 plus $3.25 shipping and handling to Summit Media Company, Department 42, Post Office Box 55184, Valencia, California, 91385. Strike, Spares, and Strategy, the bowling video for you.
What makes a classic? Mike Albee knows. He's one of the 95% of all bowling pros who wear Linds. Like Mozart, like Beethoven, the Lind Classic is an original, often imitated but never duplicated. Lind's combination of top-quality construction and craftsmanship makes for that classic Linds fit. That's why over 3/4 of all the top money winners on the 1988 Winter Tour wear Linds. Linds, the classic. Available at better pro shops everywhere.
New Advanced Formula Tegrin Shampoo.
Today, on part 2 of our series with noted bowling instructor John Jowdy, Jowdy discusses the pendulum arm swing.
It's an overused cliche again, a pendulum swing. Now you hear pendulum, you hear pendulum, you hear pendulum. But my philosophy is to picture a demolition squad when they take a great big steel ball and they hang it from the top of a building and then just let it drop. Well, it'll drive right through the building and destroy everything. But if it came down mechanically, like you would with a muscled arm swing, it would just hit there and stop, and you'd get no momentum at all. The arm swing has to be generated from gravity. You have to throw it out there and just let it drop by itself and let it come back by itself. That frees up your hand in a real free position to do whatever you want. You can turn as much as you want, or you can control it just a little bit. But it's very difficult if you got a jerky or a hard arm swing to be able to do what you want at the bottom. Anything that's tense is difficult to control. But if you got something loose, you naturally can overcome any error that you might make. It's like a baseball swing. It's like a football. You know, no passers get up and throw with an iron arm. They all throw real loose. Fluid.
One piece.
One piece. Same way with a baseball player. The guy who takes the ball, the bat back, and just free swings right through it with no a jerk or no hesitation. He's the guy that gets the $1 million, and the punch hitter gets the $150,000 contracts.
Today on Greats of the Game, we look at one of bowling's premier stylists, ABC Hall of Famer Tom Hennessy. Hennessy was a member of the famous Budweiser team that bowled the 38-58 series in March of 1958. Tom also won the 1958 ABC Masters in Syracuse, New York. In addition, he won 3 other ABC titles. Hennessy was best noted for this rock before he commenced his rapid 5-step approach. Notice how he was always low at the line. Tom was born in St. Louis, Missouri, and he still resides there. His wonderful sense of humor matched his marvelous bowling game. Tom Hennessy, no doubt, a great of the game. Today on the 10th Frame, we talk to Gary Holness, a sports attorney who represents many professional bowlers. We ask Gary what are some of the legal necessities that he must attend to for his clients.
He needs a substantial sum of money each week, approximately $800 or $900. So we're involved with the actual sponsors that may have him on tour. We have an agreement with those sponsors. And then, of course, as a player becomes more successful, we get involved with the actual marketing contracts and endorsement contracts that protect the player.
Who are some of the pro bowlers that you represent?
Well, Bob, we've been very fortunate. Palmer Falgren has been one of our clients, Guppy Troop, Tom Kreitz, Del Warren, Joe Furpo, just to mention a few. And we have a recent acquisition in Tom Jordan, who recently set the ABC scoring record for 3 games with .899, shooting 300, 299, 300.
Bowlers are probably the least exposed athletes in the endorsement area. What are some of the hurdles, Gary, that you must overcome to get endorsements for the bowlers?
Well, Bob, I once heard that, you know, when something is really not a hot topic, that's a good time to get into it. And certainly bowling right now is a wide open area. When we've got the tremendous participation of the public in this sport with almost 60 million people bowling every year, and of course the number of people that watch the PBA telecast every Saturday, we have a tremendous market out there. So it's a good business to be in, although it's very difficult right now to get to those corporate sponsors. So one of the big hurdles is to make inroads into those corporations and to let them know the tremendous amount of appeal that players have and how they can market their products to the public.
What are some of your feelings to get corporate America involved more with the pro bowlers?
Well, I'm a big believer in charities, and I'm a big believer in the youth. And I think that a combination of a player getting involved with a company that basically manufactures products that are used by the youth of America, that are also products that basically are good for people. I'm a big believer in things that are good and that are the corporate America. I like to see my players involved with products that are made in the USA.
Should your name be on this envelope?
At 7 and 11 p.m. every night of the week, only on MSG Network.
First tip today is brought to you by Lynn's, the leading bowling shoes on the Pro Tour.
Joining us today is Paula Carter, two-time United States Open champion. Paula and I will be doing a three-part series on strike lines for the left-handed bowler. And Paula, why are strike lines important for the left-handed bowler?
Well, they're important for any bowler because you can go from house to house and find a different lane condition all the time. And even if you don't move from house to house, you may come in one night and the lanes are a certain way and come back the next week and they're totally different. So you can't play the lanes the same all the time.
We have picked out three basic lines, the first arrow, second arrow, and the third, and we will be giving you variations so you bowlers will wind up with about 6 types of lines off of these variations. Paula, we'll start today with the first arrow, the outside line. How would you set this one up?
Well, what I try to do, Lou, when I go into the bowling center, no matter what line I'm playing, if I'm playing straight down and into the pocket, I'll line my left shoulder up with the target. So usually when I play the first arrow, I put my right foot on about 13. Depending, of course, if the lanes are hooking a little more or a little less, I may move a board one way or the other.
Okay, with the right foot on 13, target at the first arrow, you're then going to find out what that ball is doing. And let's take this line and let's take some variations off of that. Let's say the lane is a bit drier. They may be bowling later in the evening, could be late in a squad in a tournament. The ball's moving. What variation can we give them off of that line? Okay, if the lanes are hooking, you always move the way the ball is hooking. So if they're hooking from left to right, you would move right with your feet, look at the same target, and that'll bring you into the pocket. Now, how much you move would depend on how much the lanes are hooking. I think what confuses a lot of players is they don't understand when they move right when the lane is hooking. They feel that that's going to bring the ball too high, but as you're pointing out, they just bring the feet and swing the ball to the target. I would say probably 2 boards is a good move, 2 and leaving, maybe bringing the spot, maybe a board to the right. If you're going to move, it would be, I would use like a 2-in-1 ratio, would you not? I would use that, and one thing I'd like to point out is that when you do make the move, try not to do anything differently with your swing or your hand position, because if you start changing, then the move isn't going to do you any good. All right, let's take a further look now at this outside angle. Let's say the lane is a bit slick. It could be early in the evening, right after they've dressed. You're trying this outside angle, the ball is not coming up. What type of adjustment would we do here with the feet and the target? Well, you'd do just the opposite. You would move the feet to the left, and if you had to, you'd move your target in.
like a board or two. But just probably the adjustment with your feet, 1 or 2 boards to the left, would probably make up the difference that you'd need to get yourself into the pocket.
So now we have the outside angle set up, some variations on how that lane is, and as we continue next time, Paula will be talking about the second arrow for the second strike position. Today on Tales of the Tour, PBA great Carmen Salvino tells us how he doesn't let negative thoughts enter his mind.
I don't really look at disappointments. I'm a very positive person. I look at things as temporary setbacks. I don't look at things as failures and disappointments. I feel if you keep doing your homework, you work hard, and if you don't quit, you get temporary, I call them temporary setbacks, because if I work hard enough, I'm going to get over that plateau, I'm going to push and accelerate to 2 more plateaus, and then it's forgotten. But if I sit back and say, well, that's a disappointment, and brood about it, I'm thinking negatively, and I'm not moving forward. I move forward on everything I do in life.
How do you get out of a slump?
I don't believe in slumps. I don't. I believe that when you're not participating right, it's a lack of knowledge. If you know what you're doing, too many athletes and people in general, you go for instruction, all they keep telling you is what you do wrong. When I teach bowling to the point where I tell the person what you're doing right first and let's build on it. Right. That's a positive attitude. But if you're out there saying, well, I don't follow through, I don't swing, well, then after a while you're thinking of all negatives. I look at films mostly when I are bowling good. That's when I get my wife, Jenny, I say, Jenny, I'm bowling super. Let's take some film. I want to know what I'm doing right. I don't want to worry about what I'm doing wrong. Now, I'll make comparisons on the case because you should look at both. But I don't want to look at the bad film too long. I want to look at the good film and have a good mental picture. I don't believe in slumps. If you have talent at a level that I've been fortunate to reach, somewhere you don't know your homework. You're lacking some knowledge. Get out there and learn it. Work a little bit. Don't be sitting back there waiting for the Lord to come down and put his hand on your shoulder. He don't owe you that.
Hi, I'm Lou Scalia. I've been teaching the sport of bowling for over 20 years. And here's my first instructional video, Strike, Spares, and Strategy. My bowling video is
a lot of ups and downs in my game. When I get locked in, I can do some serious damage. When I'm not, I struggle. But the key thing there is I still manage to pick up checks and, you know, make short finals. So that's the longevity out here. That's what, you know, keeps you going. And I really feel good that when I'm bowling bad, I can still make money, you know. So these guys out here are just so good that you better be on top of your game 24 hours a day in order to be able to win consistently, and that's what it takes.
Is it a feeling that makes you locked in when you're really cooking? Or?
With me, it is. I'm real feel-oriented. Feel is, you can ask John Jowdy. He's the guy that probably works with me more than anybody. My feels are so critical week after week, shot after shot. And if my feel starts to disintegrate, then I start to lose the confidence. Once the confidence starts to disappear, then my shot-making ability disappears, and then I struggle.
Is there any one thing that you can call or begin to work on that gets you back cooking again?
Wow, I'll tell you something, that's hard to pinpoint. Changed a few things in the past couple of weeks that have probably made a big difference. I was moving the ball too quick in my push away, and it was forcing me to hold on to the ball just a little bit too long at the foul line, and it was wreaking havoc on my game. Jowdy got me to slow down my push away, got me to be a little more deliberate, and a friend of mine in Bloomington, Illinois, Cliff Tarpley, got me to get a little more knees into the shot, get my back straighter, and it's made a big difference in my game. I'm starting to make more quality shots, more target-guided shots, and I'm not having near the trouble that I had, you know, 4, 5, and 6 months ago.
What do you feel about equipment? What makes your game tick as far as equipment is concerned?
Equipment is very valuable. You take a guy like Pete Weber, Marshall Holman, guys that are just raw talent, the guys that those people really don't know very much about balls and weights and surfaces. They have the innate instinct to be able to put their hand into a ball and just go out there and go and strike. Some of us aren't quite that fortunate. I have a good game, I have a good instinct, but it's not quite that good. I have to learn a little more about equipment, about what it takes to win, and it's just a lot more work on my part, but thank God I've been able to pull it out.
Dave, how do you handle tour life, family life? How do you handle all of that together?
Wow, that's a tough thing to do. I am very fortunate in the fact that I have a great wife and 2 beautiful kids. They adapted to this lifestyle out here real well. And through the process of a lot of work, I travel the tour in a 40-foot four-travel motorhome that makes it a lot easier on the family. It's large enough that we can be comfortable, the kids sleep comfortably, we sleep comfortably, and the family setting is real, close-knitted. And that's the way that it should be. Up till recently now, my oldest one has just gone into kindergarten, and she's spending more time at home, and now it's begun to be a lot tougher. So it's a matter of them flying out and me flying home that, keeps us as a tight-knit family, and that's the way I like to see it.
Here's a little tip from PBA veteran Ernie Schlegel.
Most people hold the ball in front of them. Okay, this is where you get the bad arm swing. Everybody holds the ball here in front of them. Okay, if you push the ball in front, where does it come back? Into your leg. Okay, it's like if you were walking down the street and there was a telephone pole, you walk around it and you do it instinctively. Well, the ball would be the telephone pole. It would come down, you walk around it. Okay, most people wouldn't walk around it. The swing would go away from it. Okay, well, then they make an adjustment. They hold it completely over the other way, and it goes the other way. So I would try to hold it to the right of it, on the side of the leg, so the swing would stay straight.
A promotional fee has been paid to the